Good day, students. You're welcome to biology class and continue our class on the past question and solution to Senior Secondary Certificate 2018. We're question 9. The odontoid process is found on the A. Axis vertebra, B. Atlas vertebra, C. Thoracic vertebra, D. Sacral vertebra. So let's start. The axis vertebra is the second vertebra in the cervical vertebra. So what is cervical vertebra? Or what is vertebra itself? Vertebra is that particular bony structure that helps to protect the spinal cord. So let me just give you an outlook. Okay, this is how the bone is at your back, and the spinal cord will pass through the particular bony structure called the vertebra. So the first, we have 5 types of vertebra. The answer actually is the axis. The answer is the axis A. So let me analyze. The first vertebra is called the cervical vertebra. The first vertebra is called the cervical vertebra. And there are 12 cervical vertebra. The next is called the thoracic, and that is the chest region. And there are 7. The next is called the lumbar vertebra. The lumbar vertebra, and we have 5 of it. Then we have the sacral vertebra, and we have 5 also. Then we have the caudal. Everything making 33 vertebrae. So the first is called the atlas at the neck region. This is found at the neck region. Okay, so the first of the 12 cervical vertebrae is called the atlas. Then we have the axis. We have the axis. This is 7. Sorry, that's a mistake. This is we have 7 of the cervical vertebra. Then we have 12 of the thoracic vertebra. So the first one is called the atlas. Then the next one is called the axis. Then number 3 to 7 they're called the typical cervical. So the first one is called the atlas. The next one is called the axis. So the axis has, let's draw the structure of the axis and locate the odontoid process, which is the answer to that particular question. So let me draw a typical cervical vertebra. So I'm going to be very fast. Okay. I'm going to be very fast. That is good. So this part is called the neural spine. It's called the neural spine. And the neural spine is for muscle attachment. Fine. Then the next one is called the transverse process. Okay? The next one is called the what? The transverse process. The axis has a very short transverse process, and the transverse process is also meant for the muscle. It provides a surface for muscle attachment. Then what concerns us is the odontoid process. So the base of each of the vertebrae is called the centrum. Okay, it's called the what? The centrum. And the centrum of the axis has a prominent structure. Okay, called the what? Called the odontoid process. And the odontoid process is that particular structure in which the axis used to articulate or join with the atlas in the upper part of the neck. So don't let me forget this. We have the neural canal. The neural canal is for the passage of that particular structure. That is very important, and that is the spinal cord. So the answer here is odontoid process, which is found on the axis, with which it's used to connect with the atlas. Now let's go to the next question. A seedling was made to stand in a solution of red ink, let's take note of this, for 3 hours, and the transverse section, let's take note of this, of the stem was examined under the microscope. It shows what? What is the experiment trying to show us? The importance of microelements. We've not talked about anything like microelements here. Then ascent of water through the xylem. We've not talked about that here. Okay, and the diffusion of color substances, because we have the red ink here, and the red ink is actually moving from the water through the stem of the plant. then that should be the answer. Then distribution of food in a plant. We're not about talking about the food here. However, there's something you need to take note. If you want to test for the presence of water in a plant, okay, you want to test for the presence of water, that is, has water gone through that particular plant, we use a solution that is called what? Eosine solution. And eosine solution will stain red. To stain that particular part in which water has moved through, to stain it what? Red. So let's move to the next question. That's number 11. Which of the following structure would carry out respiration? A. Germinating cowpea, decolorized leaf, sweat, and oxygen. The answer is germinating cowpea. Germinating seeds, they have some characteristics that make them to be viable or make them to be used to carry out the process of respiration, because they are young, number one, and also they are active, they are energized, they are not grown up yet, and they also require a lot of energy for them to actually grow. So let's go to the last question. An example of homeostasis in living organism is dash. A cooling effect resulting from evaporation of water from the body surface. That is perfect. That is the answer. Okay? So what is homeostasis? Homeostasis is the maintenance of constant internal environment. Okay? For example, what do you want to maintain? You want to maintain temperature in a constant level. Okay, not too high and not too low. You want to maintain the water level of the body and others like that. So here, we are trying to maintain the temperature of the body. So when there is overheating inside the body, what will happen? There will be expelling out of that particular heat through the what? Through the sweat. That's a summary. When we get to another question, we are going to explain that. Thank you. Goodbye.